Alright, so our plan for today is we're focusing on interaction with components and input or output. Right, why I say that is because I'm going to have my input box and message box also just here, because we're going to use them to do some displays. I created some variables just if we need it for like when we want to extract information from the component or if you want to put something there. Please just also take note, this program has got no purpose. It's literally just there to check all our components and how we're going to interact with them. So this is not a program for, it's not a calculator or something where they, but so why did we extract that? There's no reasons why for any of this. So you'll also see all our options, like our list box will have an option 1, option 2. Combo box inside there is just an option 1, option 2. Our radio button is just option 1, option 2. So it's very generic. It's more just revision. How do we interact with these components and so forth. Alright, so our first one, input box. Input box, that is to have a pop-up box where we allow the user to give us a value. So if you want the pop-up box to appear where you ask the user to either give you something. Now, remember all our inputs are always string. Or not 99% of the time. I'll show you, it's only our spin edit. Our spin edit that gives us an integer. But all the rest gives you strings. So my inputs, we're going to use as S input basically the whole time. And as you know, if you ask for age, you're going to get it as a string, but then you can just convert. How can we change again a string to an integer? If you get a string but you wanted an integer, how do we do that again? String to int. Okay, so you just use the conversion. But for now, so we're just going to work with strings. So our S input will be, and then for the input box, you just say input box. Our input box has got 3 parameters or arguments. Okay, we call these arguments, so there's 3 of them. The first one is basically what's going to happen like on this top part of the message box in the title area. So there you'll say something like, let's say like just input. The next piece will be the instruction to the user. So that will be inside the box where you ask the question. Like you'll say something there, please enter your info, whatever. So there you ask the question. And then the last piece is the default value. You can leave it blank if you just want the box empty. Or if you know majority will be the same thing. Let's say you wanted to know age. And you're going to do it for grade 8s coming to the school. So you know most of them will be 13. So you can start a generic option like that. So let's just test this thing. So to see what we've done. So our input box, when I did all the coding in the button. So when I click the button, you'll see there's the input. So that's our first argument we put there. This was the second argument where our question was. And then this is the third one, a default value. So that's where they appear. And then the person can just say okay or whatever. Okay, and then that value will be placed into S input. All good. All right. If any questions, you can just raise your hand as well. Then I'll know there's a question. And then I'll pause the recording if you don't want to. Okay, message box is just for displaying. So it's the same thing, but instead of asking the user for something, we just want to show him. So it's again a pop-up box where we just give him information. Okay, that's our show message. And then inside there, you'll just write your message. So now literally the box will appear and it will just say hello. Right, with our label, majority of the time a label is there to just give information. You'll see if you play the program, there's our label. and you'll see the user itself, like me, I can't click there or change anything there. So I can't actually, a label is not used for input. It's just to display something, if you want to tell the user something. So this, again, will just be an output. So for our labels, it's our LBL, we use our caption. And then the caption must be whatever you want to. Let's say hello. So now this will put the word hello in the caption. So we'll see now if we click the button. Okay, remember with the button it's going to do all these things now. So our button will be coming a bit cramped. So we'll get that input box. Then there's our message box. And they just change the label to hello. Now, this is the part. But sometimes, let's say we wanted to add hello to what's already there. You can also, sometimes you want to extract what's in the caption itself. Then you just use your variable equals to our label dot caption. So this will take whatever's in the caption and put it into the variable for you. Alright, so this you won't use a lot. This last one you won't use a lot, but sometimes you do want to just extract what's there to add it or change to it or whatever. Then you'll do this part. Please, again, very importantly, we are busy with revision. Very, very important. How programming works. Whatever's on the right hand side of an equals gets given to the left hand side. Please understand that some people still get confused with that, and that's critical. So you need to see the difference between these two. With the first one, the right hand side, which is hello, gets given to the label's caption. So that hello gets placed into there. That's why the caption becomes hello. While in this case, the label's caption gets given to my variable. So this is an input part. I'm taking what's in the caption and I'm putting it into a variable so that I can use it later on again. Okay, all good. Alright, so that's our label. For our edit box, the main aim for an edit box is to get input. But you can also display there, if you made a calculation to show the age or whatever, you can also display in the edit box. Now again, edit box, when you get something from an edit box, it will be string. And you can convert it if it needs P, but originally it's string. So our S input will be our edit box name, so it's edt edit1, and we use the text property to extract. So this is for input. Can you see the same as this one? The component with the property is on the right hand side, and it gets given to the left hand side, which is a variable. That's our input part. So same thing happens here. Our component with the property is on the right hand side, and it gets given to the variable. So that's the input part. That's when we take the value that's in the component in that property and we give it to a variable so that we can use it in our program. If we want to display, it's the other way around. So now your edit box in the text property must get the value of, and then we can give it whatever you want to. Let's just also say hello again. So now we're going to take the word hello and put it into that edit box. So this is for display, for output. Okay, all good. Okay, so that's our edit box label and those ones. Then we get a labeled edit. That's the one where there's a label and an edit box all in one. Alright, so with this one, I also call it edt. So see, it's our edt labeled edit. Now for the edit box, it is still the same thing. So if you go your edit box.text, it is to extract what's in the edit box part in there. So if you want to extract, it will be your S input. We'll get the value of that. That's to do the input. So now we're taking what's in that edit box part. So in this edit box, in this white box part, it takes whatever's in there and it puts it into that variable for us so that we can use it. And then the same thing, if you want to display in that edit box part, then you'll just do the reverse. So it will be your labeled edit, and then you give it the value. I'm going to call it hello2. So let's quickly see. I forgot my property in the text property. Right, so now if we click this button, first is our input box, then it's our show message, then you'll see that became hello, we put hello there also, and we call this one hello2. Goes in there. Maybe one thing to add with them, especially with the edit boxes, if you want to clear it, you can just do your edit.clear. So this will empty everything that's in the edit box. Same with this side. You will also just go your labeled edit.clear and it will take it away. Alright, our combo box is this one. Our combo box can be very easy. Main thing with the combo box, just remember it's also .text. Right, so for the input part, again, we'll get it as a string. So our S input is our combo box .text. So whatever the user chooses, if he chose option 2 and you run this, it will show option 2 or take it and put it in a variable. Yes. Okay, so for our edit label, let's say we want to change the top part. We just changed everything in this white block, the edit box part we changed. But let's say we want to change the label part of this. Any other component, if you're not too sure, the easiest way is click on the component and then go look, where would you change it here? And then you'll see the thing you'll have to do is you have to go to the edit label part. And when you expand that one, then you'll see your caption is there. So inside edit label, then there's a caption part. So what we'll do is the same here. So so firstly your component, then we have to go to the edit label one, which is there. Then we can get a caption part. And then we can give this one testing. So now hopefully, so now if we click this, we get our input box, message box, and then it became testing. Alright, so if you're not too sure, if you just go there and you go click on the component and you look where, and you'll see to change that caption part, you have to go to the edit label part first and then you'll get the caption. So that means we have to click on the component, go to the edit label section, and then we can go caption. And then give it the value. Alright. For our combo box, it's just your combo box.text and you give that to a variable. So whatever the user chooses will go there. Now what will happen sometimes is you want to add something to the lists. You want another option in a combo box. So that we'll use our combo box. Items .add, and then in here you can say option 3. Okay, so this will add this option to the bottom of your list box or your combo box. So your combo box will get this additional option. So it's your combo box.items.add, and then you add it. Okay, everybody good so far? Okay. Then our radio button. Now this radio button, this is if it's a separate radio button. So you might get radio buttons that's just a randomly on the outside, but you also get a radio button group. But can you see when I want to click on option 1 or 2, I can't click on them because they're part of the group. But with this one, I can click on the specific component. So there's two different ones. Now this is a radio button. This is a radio button group with radio buttons inside. So if we're just working with the radio button itself, with that one component. So how this works is most of the time you want to see if the person selected it or not. So you want to see is it checked or not, and then do something with it. So that's normally in an if statement. So with this one, just pause this. So our radio button, in this case, it's an individual radio button, not part of a group.